So there's another data type in the Ruby language where we can work with lists and manage lists, and it's called the hash. And a hash is a dictionary-like list. So that means we have a key value pair for every object inside the hash. So let's take a look at this. We can create a new hash similar to the array. So first let's assign it to a variable like this. And we can do with a capital H, ASH dot new. So that's how we create an empty hash. Now there's another way to create a hash, and it is like this. That's called the hash literal. So that's a little bit easier to work with. So it's just two curly braces, an opening and then a closing curly brace. So that's how we create hashes. Now if we want to create a hash with something inside of it, we could do it like this. I'm just going to name this another random variable name. And so this is what I mean by key value pairs. We put a key in here, and we use this special syntax. It's called a symbol. We do it like this. And then we use this other special syntax. It's called a hash rocket. It's the equal sign and then the angle bracket, or an arrow. And then we could put a string or a number or some other data type in here. So we'll just do that, and then we could put a second element in here in this hash, or a second key value pair. So I'll just put last name. And so that's the format of a hash right there. So now if I were to output this hash into the actual console, it would look like this. And there you go, just kind of outputs it. And so since we didn't get any kind of an error, that means that Ruby understands that this is a hash, which is a dictionary-like list. So this is going to be useful when we want, something that's similar to an array, but we want to be able to label each element, right? So instead of just having a set of strings in here, we can label them with something that's a little more useful and a little bit more meaningful to us. So just like with arrays, we may need to select a particular element in a hash, right? So we might need to grab the first element or even the second element. And when we're working with very large hashes, it'll be easy for us to be able to do that. So similar to the array, we use this bracket notation to do that. So we write the actual name of the hash, or the variable name that we have, and then we put a bracket right next to it. And so let's say we want to see what is inside the first element, and that is labeled first name here. The way we can do that is just by typing in the key, and it'll return for us the value. So if I print this out into the console, I'll get rid of that line. You'll see, there we go. It goes in there and it checks to see inside this hash what has the key first name. And as we know, it's right there, so we'll go and grab the value for it. So that's how you select or access parts of a hash. Now, hashes also have special methods just like arrays do. So again, you can search for hash in Google, and you can go to this website, ruby-doc.org. These are the Ruby docs, and this is just a great way to learn some more about these particular data types. So for example, we can list out all of the keys inside of a hash. So we could do that by doing something like this. And then if we run that, we'll see, there we go. It's listed out the keys of that hash. And then we could also list out the values if we wanted to. And there we have it. So this is another very useful type of data structure that we're going to be working with down the line.